Good morning, fam. Good morning. Good morning. I thought I'm gonna do a little morning analysis. I'm going to look at markets anyway. I'm looking for positions. I wanted to show you a trade on the euro pound, but it's gone now. So I got in, but it might come back. It might not come back. Let's look at Bitcoin, the Dixie, some forex pairs. Let's look what could be interesting now or this week, or weekend is coming up. So what can we expect from the weekend on these pairs? And if you don't watch on YouTube but you're watching on Twitter, go on YouTube, and on YouTube you can let me know in a comment section what do you want to see, and I can pick, if anybody's gonna be here, I can pick some of that, or I can look at all of the comments that come in. So go on YouTube and also subscribe on YouTube, guys. Subscribe, smash the like button. I gotta get to 100,000 followers and subscribers. So let's do this exciting journey, hey? Okay, so I wanted to follow up. Let me just put this here. I wanted to follow up on my trade. So I had this trade that I called. You can see it here. So I had this euro Aussie dollar long, and I posted. Always what I do is that when I get into a position and I tell you about it, I always post what I'm seeing. So it's very important for you to monitor your trade throughout the trade. So trade management is very, very important. It's not like I put a trade and then I leave it there. Sometimes it might be, especially if you're a longer like swing trade or something like that. But it's very important to monitor the trade if you do not want to lose, in my opinion. So what I saw, I posted this, and then right after I saw liquidity building up on the lower time frame. So if you look at this here, this was the liquidity that I was seeing, and that was a very great indication that we are going to have a big push up. And I actually tweeted about this, saying, I said liquidity building up, buckle up, this can be great. And this is actually what happened. And then I said I closed a portion. Now it's very important to keep your risk reward. If you're starting out, or even if you're not starting out, like 1 to 3, 1 to 2, 1 to 3 risk reward is not bad at all, especially if your hit rate is good. If you have a 50% hit rate, that means that with 1 to 1 you should be good. If you have a 1 to 2 risk reward, you got to be right about 33% of the time. So, and still be, you got to be right 33% of the time and still break even. So 1 to 2, 1 to 3, you don't have to worry about it. But I usually target 1 to 3, 1 to 5, something like that. But it's very important that I don't stick to my risk reward if the chart does not tell me to. So if you look at this, what I saw is that if you go into the 5 minute, we have a decent order block. Not the best, but we do have an order block here. So this level was actually responsible for the big break. You can take this whole candle, which is also a 5-minute order block up here. But I actually refined to this one, and this was a great level for rejection. And what I thought is that we had relative equal highs, we're pushing up, and there is one major decision, one major reason why I actually I tweeted it here, you see. So I sold it up here. One major reason why I actually got out of this position, part like 50% I sold, is because of this small liquidity. Now this looks like nothing, but it's very, very important for you to understand that on the chart everything does matter. Everything is a clue. So you have to look at the chart as like a clue, something that you want to read all the time. There are no accidents on the chart. So if you look at this little liquidity here, you see that price could not push higher. And these are relative equal lows. Now what I thought was going to happen when I tweeted this, what I thought was going to happen, not this, but this, what I thought was going to happen is that we are going to see a liquidation here. We touch onto this order block down here and then push on. I talk a lot about this. This is called a liquidity grab, but this did not happen. What happened is that from here we started to rocket, and that's a problem because that means that liquidity is left behind. This might be a trap for retail, and you really got to be very careful. So this is why I got out here, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna get in lower, potentially here or even down here back to my entry. And that was the scenario that was playing out in my head. And when we got down here, we didn't see a lower time frame confirmation, and then when we got down here, we didn't see a lower time frame confirmation. So I actually closed. I left the position here, so I left it run out. But I wanted to close. Yeah, I wanted to close here, but I didn't close because it's also very important. Like, we know emotions. You're fighting your emotions. So when you want to close your position, think about where I want to close my position, guys. If you're watching this, and if you're not on YouTube, you're missing out. Go on YouTube. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this. Link is in my bio on Twitter and all around. And also subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on everywhere. So anyway, so I wanted to sell. I didn't sell. and I got stopped out with the remaining 50%. But the good thing about this is that this is still a 1 to 2, so I'm still in profit on this. So I sold around I actually think I sold on this water block. I sold here. Then why did the Twitter show that? Anyway, I sold it around here, and I'm moving the wrong thing. Hold on, what is happening here? So I entered here, right? Yes, this was it, and I sold it around this region. So it was 1 to 1.9, 1 to 9, 1 to 2. Risk rewards is still, it's still good. But, and this is another lesson, why is it important to use stop losses? Because of this. Look at this. Look what happened here afterwards. So the reason why it's good to use stop loss is exactly because of this. So exactly because of the fact that happened here. If you didn't use stop loss, this was a 1.5% move, which is pretty decent. So this is why it's super important to always use stop loss. And even though, because I monitored the trade, because I could spot liquidity, because I knew where the order blocks were, I could get out and still be in profit, even though I got stopped. So that's that. Let's look at the Dixie. Again, I talked about the Dixie previously already when the Dixie was here, but the main target for me is 106, 108. Then the reason being is because this is the order block above the equilibrium. So markets always if you watch my content, you know this, markets always retrace 50%. So if I pull the 50% from the swing high to the swing low, that means that our 50% region, which would be the premium region, would be around 106. So that means that we need to see a retracement. I'm not saying it's going to happen now, but it's more likely than ever, especially if you look at the economic numbers. So we are potentially going to see a push towards 106, 108, and I'm just going to draw it here as well, like something like this. We're probably going to see, I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but I know that we're going to see, you know, like a push into the, how should I do this nicely? I should do it like this, bam, 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 something like this. And you also see it builds up liquidity, which is good for us because that means it will come down, and it will eventually come down. So we push up. You know, the thing about this is that all this is the premium zone. So most probably we're gonna reverse from here, especially if we have a heavy push that we have now. But you know, we can come up all the way up to the 109 region. I'm actually gonna put this up as well, so you know. But this could also happen. You know, we have to see the lower time frame confirmations and see where we go. This will also be very good for Bitcoin, so we got to look for the Dixie to push up to the 106, 108 region. This will be great for Bitcoin when it will start coming down, and then I think it will come down. Guys, I see that more and more people join in. If you join in, go to YouTube and leave a comment. Let me know if you're watching this. Let me know what's oh, I actually can add, look. Okay, I'll talk about this now actually. So I said yeah, so what I said, let's look at the 4 hour on the Dixie. Yeah, so we're probably going to have a breathing room. That's why also, and ooh, my Euro GBP is going good. Ooh. Yeah, guys, I actually wanted to do the trade here. I wanted to let you know here. I'll post the, I took this trade. I will post the result later. Cool. Yeah, sorry about this. So let's look into it. So I'm just trying to see if do you guys see me on YouTube? Is anybody on YouTube who sees me? Okay. So potentially the Dixie is going to breathe a little bit. You know, as we see here, it breathes a little bit. It left a lot of liquidity as well here. So we might even see it, you know, pushing down to this level. That would be great. That would give a push to Bitcoin. Let's look at what Bitcoin is doing. So here's the interesting part. You know, I talked about this here. Let's look at this. These are the scenarios that I see playing out. Again, I'm just going to put them up here, you know, creating some kind of liquidity, come up here, then see a lower time frame confirmation and go down. That's one of the scenarios I see. Second scenario I see is that so the first scenario is it didn't change, you know. This is, and more I look at the chart, this is the most likely scenario. Unfortunately, we're all going to come up to this 27,200 and 27,500,000 region on Bitcoin. Now we're sitting at 26,600. So we'll potentially come up to this region and then reject, unfortunately. And if we do reject, you know, we agree as well in Banter, we talk a lot about it, that lower, you know, lower can come. You know, we always give, as traders, we always take what the market gives us. We never try to, like, you know, you have to have scenarios for every setup. If you look at the chart, you got to say, okay, if I'm gonna do this, or if the chart is gonna give me this, this is what I'm gonna react to. This is how I'm gonna do it. This is what I'm gonna do on if this is what I see. So if you look at this, you know, you can clearly see that Bitcoin is pushing up, 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 but it leaves a lot of liquidity behind. So if you look at this, this is not good. Like, I'm not happy about this. This tells me that there is a bunch of, you know, like there's a bunch of liquidity left behind. Liquidity means limit orders, and that means that this needs to be taken. Now, that does not necessarily mean that we go down all the way, but potentially, you know, potentially we do go down all the way. So potentially we go down to this 25,200-ish region, or maybe a little bit higher. Maybe we come somewhere between 25,600 and 25,000. This is the region where we potentially just do something like this, you know, come up and then take the liquidity and then potentially move on as well. I'm not sure, but what I know is that this is liquidity that needs to be taken. So either we do this, that would be good, because then there's only liquidity on the top, right? If we don't reverse from a point of interest, or we just actually simply go up here and reject. So we've got to look for this region. This will be the first area where I will be looking at this seriously. Is 27,170. I am still long, so I am still long. I'm still in my BTC long from, what is it, from 26,100. So I still have that position open. What is interesting is that on the funded account I actually closed it, and I left it on Binance, and my buddy is just writing me, "Are you still long?" I'm like, "No, I'm not long." And then I looked at it and I was still long. So yeah, sometimes, you know, you gotta keep track much better and tighter. But this is liquidity. Watch out for that. It can, and it will go down. Question is when. Well, key levels I'm looking for is usually are, you know, like major levels. So the levels that broke the previous levels. So if you look at this create an MSB up here. Market structure breaks. This might be a great level, but again, there's a lot of liquidity below. So the actual level that I think is good and relevant is down here, like this created the whole move. This will be a very interesting area if we come back down there, like this order block down here. So like this region will be very interesting if we come back down. Other than that, I'm gonna keep this. Other than that, I'm potentially gonna keep this. Yes, I'm not gonna close until we come and hit this region up here. Hit this region 27 to 27,300. That will be a major area. Okay, let's look at the euro pound. So this was a trade that I actually took. I wanted to give you guys, you know, this is why it's very interesting. This is why I go live random as well, is because trading is not about, like, I can't have a fixed time when trades come. It's just trades just come. You know, they just come, and when they come, opportunity presents itself, you got to take the opportunity. So you look at the daily. This was an interesting area for me to long on. So not on the daily, on the 4 hour. So on the daily and on the 4 hour as well, we are in an uptrend. So we are, you know, we're ticking nicely up. We created a strong break here. So we have 1.2.3 points. So this could potentially be our, let me actually look at it. Sorry, I think this was our 4th point exactly. So this is our fourth point. No, this is our 3rd point, because 1, 2, 3. The reason why this is not a point is because this did not break the level. So this level was responsible for this break eventually. You know, this came back down 50%, but this was the low. What I see on the euro pound is that this is on a decent 4 hour demand zone. So if you see the internal structure is this, right? So 1, 2, and then this could be the 4th one, right? So the 4 point of trend is done. So this could be a very decent reversal, and then even come up to this 0.86 region, potentially rejecting here. So potentially rejecting here, retracing, and then continuing the weekly trend. But what I was looking at is, guys, if you're watching me on Twitter, go on YouTube and leave a comment. Cool. So this is yeah. So what I wanted to, why did I take this trade? The reason why I took this trade is, number one, we are in a 4 hour demand zone. Second, I saw a decent. Let me just look at it. Yeah. Okay. Also, like, yeah, exactly. Also a big rejection, and we took liquidity down here. So that means that this strong levels is actually broken. So we are going to go down on the short term. This is kind of like counter trading, but the liquidity was taken, and that means there is no reason to go up. But if you look at the buy side liquidity up here, it's massive. So we had a massive buy side liquidity on this side. It's actually a whole liquidity pool. So you see, you have So you see you have like, you know, strong highs, and then you have equal highs, and then you have trend line liquidity. You have every kind of liquidity up here, which is the reason why I thought this was gonna pop as it did pop. We made on the lower time frame. Let's look at it. The only concern I had with this trade is that, you know, we had relative equal lows, but this is gonna be left behind until, you know, we push and reject on the higher time frame, and come back down lower. So we had this liquidity, massive liquidity here. We created an MSS here, market structure shift. This would have been the perfect entry, honestly, but I was sleeping. So this would have been a perfect entry. I woke up around this region, so I saw it retracing. And when I saw we create another high here on the lower time frame, I had to get in. So this is where I got in. I saw this happening, and then I got in here, waited for it to push higher. I'm actually going to close this position. We're at 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I actually am going to close just now. I'm going to close like 50%. Yes. So guys, if you're watching me on YouTube, let me know in the comment section, and then I can look at some coins that you are interested at. If you're not watching me on YouTube, then you should, and subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe and like and leave a comment and whatnot. I would really like to hear that. I will see a decent rejection here in a 1 minute. Look. Yeah, internal structure. Look at it. So we go up. We have this little rejection here for this week. So we are potentially going to go down. This would not be a stupid trade. This would not be a stupid trade at all. This would not be a stupid trade. Should we take this trade live? Let me look at it. Oh yeah, it looks good. We could push to the 50%. That's my theory, that we are going to push to the 50%. Well, we might not. Yeah, the problem is it's only a 1 minute rejection. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna take it. You know, it's also very important. Like, you as a trader, you have to decide what you want to do with your money, right? And trading risky trade like this, it doesn't make any sense. I just made 1 to 3 risk reward. You know, it's good. I don't need to risk this, but this would not be a stupid trade. You always want to long on strong levels, and always want to short on weak levels. On short on strong levels as well. So short on strong highs and long on strong lows. That's the idea here. So cool, guys. Let's see what we have here. Oh, I was just looking at other coins and pairs. Yeah, this is what we have. So my just to summarize it, you know, Bitcoin, I think we are going to push towards the 27 region. I was convinced that we are going to push through this, and we might. We got to take what the market gives us, but the likelihood of that is just decreasing day by day. You know, I think it's the deadline for ETF approval is 16th of October. We're gonna check on that, but I think that could happen, and that could be a decent catalyst for the market. And that could be very, very interesting. All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe to YouTube, and yeah, let's kick ass. Let me know what you think. Also, please let me know what you think. Let me know what we should look at more. How should we do this? Like, I'm, you know, just starting out. It's gonna be super cool. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. See you.